Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Hello, Buckeye Nation. Jeff Rash here, joined today with Alan Metzel, head coach and athletic director of the Gilmer Buckeyes. Most of you tuned in last Friday night to watch the Gilmer Buckeyes do their very best to hand the game to Lindale Eagles, but at the end, the Buckeyes came out on top.
We did.
Coach, 3 turnovers in one half.
You know, when you lose the turnover battle 3-1, you put yourself in a dire place, and only the tremendous effort by both, each phase of the team was able to pull out a win.
Yeah, they were. Well, when you play against a team the size of, you got a bigger school you're playing against, and a well-coached team. I really like that. That guy's a great coach.
Cochran is a great guy.
He is. And let me just say this before we even get started. I always enjoy going to, as much as I hate going to Chapel Hill, I that much love going to Lindale. Their people are so nice. Their community's fantastic, and they got great restaurants. And just it's a good community. I love playing against those guys. They're great competitors. Yeah. And I think that was the Buckeyes' 9th time in a row to beat Lindale. But it's always
small.
It's always small. Margin. The last several years, last year it was a field goal at the last
end of the game.
minute. The year before that was tied. The year before that was another field goal.
Came from behind.
Yeah. So it's always a tie. They're always a good competitor, and if you like football, that's what you want to see. And it was a great game. So congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
And so what did we see? We're talking about progress, and we play these big schools, and to get ready for the district and of course playoff plays. I believe. And I think you would agree with this. I don't know. We think that the best competition you're going to see all year is maybe later in the playoffs, but really you're going to see the biggest, hardest games, the first 5, than you may see the rest of the whole season. So
really talented teams.
Really good teams.
Yeah.
So your strategy is to make it hard up front, to make it easier in the end. So it's all about growth. So what did you see this week that you liked?
Well, again, we're being stressed in various ways. For example, Lindale's defense presented a whole lot of looks. They gave us all sorts of different things where you have to do a lot of thinking. Not that we handled it all right, but what it does is it pushes, again, I've said it before, all these issues we've got to get better at to the forefront. And so it helps us where we can go back and clean things up and get better. We've got to improve our ability, for example, on the offensive line of communicating. When somebody is in a 5 and we make our call and then he shifts to a 4 and the guy comes off the edge, we have to be able to, we've made our call and now we make the second call, and at times we weren't on the same page. And
they did a lot of that shifting.
They did a lot of
shifting.
Yeah. So you've got to work through those things, and you can practice them during the week as much as you want, and hopefully that's preparing you. But it's never the same as when the heat is on and the pressure's on. I thought that you're seeing Zaid continue to emerge. Running back had several big plays for us. Trill. He had a fumble, but he played hard. He had some big runs. He also played really well at corner. So, he had a big game for us, I would say, overall. Devin McDonald, our linebacker, he's beginning to get more and more confident and comfortable in his pass coverage responsibilities. Makes a pick and then great run back for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's a huge. Our defense, they scored with a pick and they also scored on a safety, stopping Lindale back when we got them pinned in, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But so a whole lot of things that we saw that were good, things that we've already talked about in our team meeting this morning that weren't as good. Fumbles and turnovers is one. Several other things.
Unusual because we don't put the ball on the ground a lot.
We don't.
It just happens sometimes. It's just part of football.
Hopefully we got it all out.
We got it all out in one game.
And we move on and take care of the ball a little better.
Well, I thought it was a great game, and I thought they look pretty good. I mean, they
are.
They might not have been as salty as I've seen them in the past, but they were still. They're always going to be good because they're well coached.
Correct.
They're well coached.
Correct. I agree. And for them, they didn't have the running back that went to Baylor. They didn't have They didn't have the lineman that went to Alabama. But overall, they're still a solid team, and will be. Their JV was really good. And if you noticed on their roster, a lot of their guys that played the other night were sophomores. So they'll be tough.
They're going to be good the next few years. Yeah. Let's stop scheduling them.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Okay, well, let's look at some highlights from the game. This first one is, of course, the defense.
Yes, the defense. They played lights out the other night. Many 3-and-outs. Many 3-and-outs.
I've never seen more punts in a game. First half of play is just punt, 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 punt.
It was a grinder. It was like going back to the Cleveland Browns and the New York Football Giants, and it was 7-6 or whatever. And believe me, it was rough to do that. But I'm thankful I have a great defense, and this right here gives you an example of seeing some of the things that they do. So it's 3rd and 4 here, and you're going to see Braden Pate and Tyler Hagler just really make a very impressive play, fighting off blocks, fitting in the hole, and very physical. That's putting a statement on a stop right there when a 320-pound guy just bolos you like that.
Yeah, here's a touchdown reception to Webb from McCown.
Brendan Webb out here on the outside. This is an RPO. We can run the ball. We can throw the ball. He's looking at the outside linebacker and his leverage, and we feel like we can get away from him on this bubble pass. Jeremiah Noble, great job on the corner, on the block, and now it's just G on the safety. And he gets in. Brendan
Webb
on the safety.
Yeah, that was a good second effort there just to get in there.
Yeah, to reach out and get across the line there.
Yeah, and now this is the McDonald pick six you were talking about a while ago.
So here
he's such an aggressive, he's not the biggest guy on the defense,
right?
But I think he's one of the best tacklers.
He is.
Open field tacklers. He was last year, too.
Right.
He was really good.
Right.
But, here he gets his first pick six.
Absolutely. Does a great job. He's playing in the flat, and he reads the quarterback's eyes. He baits him to make the throw and then makes the interception. So here we go. Right up there by the 50. Drop right into the passing lane. Picks it. Nice move right here. Inside. And all the way for the touchdown. Great job not blocking behind the play.
Yeah, you always worry about that.
Yes.
Every pick six, you start going, okay, don't make any unnecessary blocks.
Right. Don't anybody push anybody. Exactly.
And they're picky. They watch for that.
They do.
We had one of the refs in this game that was, I think he was a line judge, and he was like, man, he was. I don't know if he was brand new, but he was toeing the mark, and he called out everything he saw. So it was like, you better play clean tonight.
Exactly.
So this next one was a big sack.
Yeah, this is Kai Kennedy. Kai is Coach Kenny Kennedy's son, moved here this year with Coach Kennedy coming in, and really is probably had his best game so far. He and Davion end up with a sack right here. Watch them. I'm going to circle them here in a second. You'll see them play down the line. So the quarterback rolls out. So watch them both meet at the point. Kai gets leverage, make sure he turns back in. Davion comes from the inside. Kai stops him, gets a sack right there, and is helping us get that offense off the field.
So this sounds like a broken record, but special teams, we pin Lindale inside the 5.
Yeah, great job here by the unit running down, covering. Obviously, Braden has just got the golden foot and drops the ball right inside the 5. They're down there waiting. I really loved how the guys got turned around and are facing the ball. It helps me not panic that it's going to skip and run into the end zone.
Yeah.
Great job of them, and that leads to points for us. So that them getting the ball down leads to this next play. So you're going to see here the quarterback catches the snap and is going to try and roll out to find an opening for somebody to throw the ball to. I've got Trey Lee circled here. Watch Trey's get off the line, runs right by their tackle and gets on him, and then he just slings the ball. Well, when you have a grounding call in the end zone or a penalty in the end zone, then it's a safety.
Yeah.
So picked up another 2 points right there.
Which were critical.
Pretty critical.
Because
we win by one.
When you win by one, a safety's pretty good. So basically, these guys put up 8 points.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know, the
exactly.
defense.
Yes.
And so, you know, critical. When you got a defense like that can put up points as well as your offense, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, well, you can. And that is what overcame some of the turnovers.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
that's
Made
it.
the difference,
Right.
didn't it? So this next one, this young man's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah,
I like Zaid. He's really come on.
He is.
He's a dude.
He is. He's just a ball player.
Yeah.
You know, you can put him at receiver, at quarterback, at running back, and he's not every kid can you talk about what's about to happen and they go, okay, I got it, and they have it. He's one of those guys. He is savvy. Of course, you know, he's Chris and Pudgy's cousin, and, you know, he's grown up around sports all his life, but he's got a lot of skills. And so here we are. There he is in the backfield beside the quarterback. We're going to give it to him. We run the counter. Great job by the fullback getting on the linebacker, and then he can run. And he's got those instincts on how to use his blockers. 49 yards. That's a big play.
My wife taught, you know, and taught him, and she said that he is a natural leader too.
No doubt.
Like the kids follow.
They do.
They like she said, whatever mood he was in that day in the classroom is how
That's
the class
how the
was going to
school-
go.
that's how it was going.
And she said and then I talked to a coach that said the same thing. He's one of these natural, just he has the it factor.
He does.
And the kids, you know,
They follow him.
they do.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's got to be one of these guys that step up and be a leader every
exactly
day,
right.
right?
That's
And
right.
he's doing that on the field for
As a
sure.
sophomore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive when you have that kind of ability that you command a presence even as a young guy, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
He is. So you'll see more.
Can't wait to watch him.
Oh,
yeah.
no doubt.
This next one's Tennyson. Caden starts the drive off with a good 26-yard pickup.
Big catch here. So, you know, we're trying to get some movement down the field offensively. Brady finds him over on the side, catches the ball. This is, you know, we're working the clock here. This is close to the end of the game. He does a great job, 26 yards, and gets out of bounds, which saves us a timeout. Great job of using his hands.
Yeah, you see him start cutting back in, and he goes, "No, I got to stay to the
I
side."
gotta get to the sideline, and he works his way back out there, and that was big.
Yeah, he did well getting back to the sideline there.
Yeah.
This is Trill. You were talking about him earlier. This is a 4-yard touchdown run for him.
You know, this right here, we always talk about you're not really a running back if you can't make one guy miss.
Yeah.
You know, you're just serviceable if that's where you are. But watch him right here as we give him the ball. Their Mike linebacker is unblocked, and he makes him miss and gets into the end zone. I'm going to go to the backside view, and you can see it right there. That's huge. That's huge, you know. And so, especially when you're talking about with the time running down and so forth, to be able to get in and get that touchdown, that was a big play. And so I'm enjoying watching Trill continue to blossom in that position.
You know, if he was just a little faster.
Yeah, then he'd be Will.
Yeah, because he's, what is he, 10'5", 10'6"?
I would say in that range,
he
can really run.
He can smoke it.
He can really run.
So here's another Zaid Taylor touchdown run, and boy, this was critical.
Was big. This is overtime.
This is overtime.
This is overtime.
Yeah.
And great job by the fullback and the receivers out on the edge doing a great job. The left tackle gets his man hooked. Here's Zaid, and then Zaid, he's got that nose for the end zone. So you see all these guys on the edge blocking, all critical blocks right there. Zaid's got a lane to run in.
Turned him loose right in the end zone. Yeah,
that's right, and that gives us the lead. It's so, you know, we lost the flip in going into overtime.
Yeah.
So they get to go first. You know, it's supposed to put pressure. But when you go out and score a touchdown, well, now it flips it.
Yep. Pressure's on you.
The pressure's on you. You have to score a touchdown.
That's right.
And that affects play calling. It affects, you know, the guys trying to make the plays. So being able to do this coming out into overtime was just monstrous.
It's big time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, then it was our turn to be nervous.
Yes.
And they get the touchdown.
Get in the end zone.
They get in the end zone.
They're down one.
And we're like, okay, it was going to go again. You know, we're going to do. That's what happened. You know, doubled overtime for Kilgore this last
and
week.
Pleasant Grove.
That was a barn burner over there. So I'm thinking, okay, here we go. You know, it's fixing to be another one of those. And then they line up to go for two. And I'm like, and I even said it on air. I was like, I love this call. This guy's going for the win. He's tired of losing to Gilmer. He's going for it right now. But I didn't have a lot of faith they'd get it.
Yeah.
You know, and especially when they didn't line up in that set where they do the, I don't know what they call that, but it's like the tush.
It's like a wildcat formation.
Yeah, with the two backs. Yeah. I thought, well, that's their best move here, and they didn't do it. I'm thinking they're going to try to throw the ball, and from the 3.
Yeah.
And so I figured the defense would stop them.
They did a great job raising up. You're going to see the D line does a great job getting a push. Watch them right here. And they're right there. Those two guys, we both got leverage. And so, 1, he can't get outside of them. And 2, they're moving up into his space, which makes it tough for him. So here we go.
He had nowhere to go.
And, he did all he could do. He had to throw it because the game would end.
Because why not?
Yeah, so he slings it, and then you see our guys rally to the ball. Kai
goes up high,
jumps up, picks it off. And the game
Buckeyes
is over.
Come out with a win.
They come out with a win.
With another point. I'd love to see the margin of victory for the last 5 years. It's not much.
No.
It's less than 10 points.
It's pretty small.
It's pretty crazy. So, well, congratulations on the win. And now we travel to Huntsville to play Brenham.
Correct. And the game is at 7.
7
that
o'clock.
Is different. In fact, all of our district games are at 7. The whole district changed that. So just want to make sure everybody understands that. But yeah, we'll head down to Huntsville. This is their home game in Huntsville.
Yeah.
Okay, so that way we didn't have to drive all the way to Brenham.
Okay.
So it's a home neutral. So we're the visitors this week.
Okay.
Next year we'll have our home neutral, and we'll figure that out depending on where a stadium's available. But
now Brenham, I don't know much about them other than they're a big team. They're a 5A team.
5A Division II. They're undefeated. They are ranked. I didn't know they were going to be that good when we got them, but hey, it is what it is.
They're going to give you good looks on both sides of the ball.
They've got athletes. I would describe them like Chapel Hill. They look like Chapel Hill. Their running back scored 7 touchdowns last Friday night.
Yeah,
7 touchdowns in one game.
He's like a Stewart.
He's like him.
Yeah.
He's like him. So good athletes.
Yeah. So we need everybody that can travel to travel. Otherwise, you can certainly watch it live on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you like to watch the broadcast. And 7 o'clock start. Anything else you want to point out? I see special teams seems to be getting better and better.
We are. We're hoping
strides.
to start getting some of our injured guys back here soon, which I think will give us a big boost as we move on into districts.
Yeah, we've been talking about that a little bit without specifics.
Correct.
We've got about 5 key players,
no doubt,
that are out. I mean, and they're not just 5 starters; they're 5 key starters.
Yes,
yes. I mean,
and that's one of those things we try not to belabor it because we still got to play the game.
Yeah. And everybody has injuries.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not just us, but we have been plagued a little bit more than normal this year. But hopefully everybody will be back for district, and that'll be great. So, well, Coach, congratulations once again. Nice victory there on Friday night. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Exciting game.
It was very exciting. If you love football, every game we've played this year, I mean, the margin, the loss to Chapel Hill, 5 points, and then the loss to Kilgore, or
Pine Tree was
Pine
5.
Pine Tree was 5. Chapel Hill was 4.
Yeah,
and then win-win. But they're all tight.
Yep.
And they've all been great games. So if you love football, you get your money's worth. So Buckeye Nation, we need you to go down to Huntsville 7 o'clock. The Buckeyes are going to take on Brenham, and big school, talented school, ranked school. So we need you to be down there making lots of noise. Bring your noisemakers and come support the Buckeyes. And then right after that, it's going to be district play. And so it gets real. It starts counting after this next week. So I know the Buckeyes are getting ready for that. So thanks for watching the Coaches Show, and we'll see you next week.